Hello, everyone. It's Brian from IGN here with Jeremy and Max.
Hi there. It's me, your pal Jeremy.
There it is. This week we got some news, rumors, possibly a potential story came out that Capcom could be working on an official remake of Resident Evil 4. Next, Resident Evil 4 is one of the greatest video games of all time. Definitely one of the best Resident Evil games. One of the most influential third-person shooters ever made. That said, it sparked a lot of conversation around our virtual office that we live in now, and also the internet at large, about what Capcom could potentially remake instead of this game or in addition to this game. So I gathered with me two of my buddies, Max and Jeremy, who both really love ancient video games, especially the ones made by Capcom.
That's right.
We thought we'd have a spirited little happy, healthy debate about which of these games we think should be remade next. Jeremy, let's hear it from you first. Which game do you want?
I feel like if I had my druthers, if I were able to pick, I might go more in the direction of Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny.
Specifically, the second Onimusha. That's a wild card. Good call.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of reasons for that. I love that series. I played all the games in that series. But Onimusha in particular really kind of jumped out at me for reasons that I think other people came to sort of discover later. There are elements in this game that sort of combine what was good about Resident Evil with a little bit of what became good in the Souls games. So I don't know how much you guys remember about Onimusha, but it's a samurai game with a very supernatural element to it, where you could kind of tank through it or button mash through it. And experience the story, but if you wanted to really challenge yourself and get a really good rating and get into the sort of the more optional content like the Phantom Realms, which was this increasingly more difficult tiered challenge thing where you could unlock really cool stuff that you could use in the game. You had to learn how to parry, block, dodge, and they had this Isen technique where if you attack at the moment that the enemy attacks, you can pretty much just one-shot them. Just cut them, cleave them right in twain,
Mm-hmm.
Which is just a really cool feeling. It's very difficult to master, but once you get it, it just feels so good. That game, in terms of story, atmosphere, challenge, I think if you gave it a chance, you would find it remarkable how much it reminds you of so many really great games that came after the fact.
I feel like that's exactly what's not going to work in its favor, because there's quite an abundance of games that sound just like that. We've got 2 Neo games, we've got Sekiro, we've got Ghost of Tsushima on the way, and I feel like doing a remake of a samurai game that has a lot of these mechanics that have been explored fully is just going to kind of hold up a lens to it and make people realize what hasn't aged well.
Max, they put out a game where you play as a space marine about twice a week for eternity. Call of Duty comes out every year. It's not like there's that many samurai games. You named 3. The name a 4th.
All right. So, what game do you suggest that we don't get a lot of these days that you want to see return?
I would say a nice dinosaur game. I would say there is in fact a crisis of a lack of dino games. A Dino Crisis. Dino Crisis, the first one came out just months away from Resident Evil 3. I feel like this is not so much even just they're so close to remaking Dino Crisis. Why not just go all the way? They've got the Resident Evil engine or the RE engine, which is gorgeous. We've seen what they've done with obviously they've got a lot of work cut out for them with RE4, but I feel like we're always so close to having really good dinosaur games. But for whatever reason, they never really stick the landing. It's like a running joke with Battlefield games that they're going to put dinosaurs in there, but they never do. Everyone's like, oh, there's going to prehistoric Far Cry. Where are the dinosaurs? And then we get Ark Survival Evolved, which is fine, I guess. But just give me a freaking Dino Crisis game. You got all the bits and pieces right there. I don't care if it's basically a palette swap of Resident Evil. We need some more goddamn dinosaur games. All right.
I like that too. I agree. I really enjoy the Dimetrodon. He's a good one.
That would be an easy one to fight because it's basically just a sort of just a small paper fan on the ground that you can shoot in the head.
I like the Ankylosaur.
That's a tough one to shoot because he's covered in armor plating.
Well, anyway, speaking of dinosaurs, another thing that's very old is Resident Evil Code Veronica, which just turned 20 this year, and I really like this game. This is a cult classic. This game started trending on Twitter when Resident Evil 4, the remake, was those rumors first popped up. You know why? Because people really like this game, and it's sort of this bastard stepchild of the Resident Evil franchise. It's not numbered, so people don't remember it well. They don't think about it all the time when it comes in all these conversations about remakes and stuff like that. And chronologically, it just makes sense. If you're following the story here, which in Resident Evil history, as you know, is never any logical thing at all whatsoever. But going from Resident Evil 2 to 3, and then skipping over Code Veronica to 4 is travesty, and it's sacrilegious, and it's frankly disrespectful to the hard work that all the men, women, and zombies put in Code Veronica, which is a goddamn tried and true survival horror. And I love Resident Evil 4. It's one of my favorite games of all time, but that is mostly an action game. And I want a survival horror game. I want a creepy, spooky adventure through the mansion and the weird nonsense areas that you go into in that game. It's a great game. And everybody should play it. I think they should remake it. And then we'll get to Resident Evil 4, which I know they're going to get to. They're going to do it either way. So that's my pitch. Code Veronica should be the game that Capcom remakes next. They already have all the zombies.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think is the likeliness that we'll see any of these 3 games?
Probably for you guys 0, 0, and then a 10 for mine.
What are you talking? There's already rumors they're making the dinosaur game. There's rumors about it.
They did a remaster of Onimusha Warlords just in 2018.
Yeah, but that was like 10 years ago in video game time.
Can you imagine? Can you hear all the people who are even talking about it? Wow, it's hard to even form a thought over the chatter about Onimusha remake. Yeah, get the dinosaurs out here. We need some help with fighting them.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, anyway, let us know what your favorite Capcom classic is that you want to see remade on current gen or next gen consoles. I think it's got to be Code Veronica. Actually, you mentioned Viewtiful Joe. That's a really good one. But for all things video games, Capcom, Resident Evil, Code Veronica, Onimusha, dinosaurs, Dimetrodon, Ankylosaurus, Velociraptor, Brontosaurus, T-Rex, and the Brontosaur, stick with IGN.